Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I am seated to the direct right of my husband, Mr. Matthew Ray Rhodes.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, a new salutation. Good evening.
Everyone just hear me say good morning.
I know.
We are, if you're watching us on YouTube, you may notice the lighting is different. We're recording this at night.
It's a little darker.
We're recording this at night because Jen has business travel next week. And
I'm a VIP.
And so we got to do this, get this out.
We're trying to plan ahead. We're trying to get a couple in the bank so that, you know, we've got some travel coming up.
Yeah.
The first of which is this business trip for moi, which I'm very excited about. But I'm excited. It feels fun doing it at night. Like normally we've got the sunlight. We're watching our neighbors walk their dogs. There's just a different air now. It's like I don't want to say spooky, but I mean, this episode is going to drop right at the beginning of October.
Yes. And that's why I'm excited about this episode, because it's going to drop right at the beginning of October, like you just said.
Yeah.
The timing.
Pre-Christmas, not spooky season. It's pre-Christmas for me. For those of you that know me, I don't celebrate anything in October. I am waiting for Mariah Carey to thaw out on November 1st and help me put up my Christmas decorations. But yeah, now are you excited because we're almost to Christmas?
No, not at all. That's not where I was going with it.
As much as I love Christmas, we get this excited this time of year because it's fourth quarter.
You got it. That's exactly why I'm excited. I love fourth quarter. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we jump into that, you know, there's one thing about winners, and I'll catch it. It's winners, not winters, since we just talked about that. There's one thing about winners. They are always reviewing their progress. They're always making adjustments. They're evaluating their business. They're evaluating their body. They're evaluating their relationships. Basically, they're always looking at where they're at in life in all verticals to see where they need to be. Now, they're serious in general, but that doesn't mean they don't know how to have fun. Most people winning at this game of life understand the balance of being successful in a lot of areas, including that enjoying life area, which is so important. But when I just said the word winner, you may have had a few different things come to mind. You may have been thinking about a specific person you know is winning at life right now. That may have popped into your mind. You may have just had some images of things that come up when you think of a winner or what they're doing. But I want to ask you, did an image of you or things that you do pop up when I said, this is what winners do? And if not, why not? It could be that you feel that you've not reached that apex that you've been striving for, which is understandable. Maybe you even feel a little behind. I mean, a lot of people look at their age and say, God, I really wish that I was here and I'm this old and I'm not there and I'm behind. And that could be something. And it could be just as simple as your image didn't pop up in your head because you took the summer off for your fitness goals and you don't feel like you're winning at the fitness game. Could have been that. But if any of those statements apply to you, not feeling like you're hitting your apex, maybe you feel you're behind on your age, maybe you took the summer off. If you're thinking, yeah, that's me, or you're sitting here nodding your head with me saying, yeah, that's it. That is why it's so important for you to listen today. But more important, take action today. Because I can promise you, it doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter what your current physical health is. It doesn't matter your financial state right now. This is the time going into the fourth quarter when you reevaluate or you hit the reset button.
Yeah. I like how you equated winners already and their characteristics. They already know how to have fun. It's baked into that balance. Like if you're winning, you're already thriving, doing something that you love. Like that's what I love about what we do. Like we're totally crushing this life game. And I can just keep working with you up until like, what time is it right now? It's 8:00 at night on a Friday and we're crushing this podcast. Like, but I love it. So yeah, we're having fun. We're still doing what we love. We're winning and we're working. Like, find that. But winners know how to hit the reset button when it's needed. because even those pictures that came to mind of the people that are winning, they aren't winning all the time. Sometimes they pull back and reset too.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
and I know many of you have heard our story, and we don't work late hours. Jen mentioned working at 8 o'clock,
but this isn't work. This is fun for me.
This is fun.
Like, I love doing this.
Because tomorrow's a full day off with a concert.
Hell yeah.
But most of you know our story. We, I think, I know you look young. I think we look young. I think we act young. I think we have all those characteristics. But real honestly, we are not spring chickens, whether Jen would like to disagree or not. And all of our
younger than you.
You are younger than me. But all of our shit was messed up a few years ago too. And we're not super young.
Man, we've got a lifetime of lessons too.
But we weren't winning at much of anything at that time. So it doesn't matter where you're at. That's why this message applies. So we hit the reset button and things only got better. It was a reset button for us. I don't remember if it was the first quarter side. It didn't matter. It was a reset. It wasn't
a reset button. It was more like a reset, like dynamite.
Yes. But I look at that and that's why I want people to really take something from today, wherever you're at, because I just told you, we were not in a good place, as many of you know. We hit that reset button. And I'll say this past year has been incredible. I feel like my relationships have grown exponentially stronger with my family. They've grown stronger with my inner circle. Our business has gained massive momentum, and I'm having more fun than ever before. So where are we going with this? Like we said, it's the fourth quarter. Look at what successful businesses do and start incorporating that into your life. Look back over the last 9 months, because that's what successful businesses are doing right now. They're looking back over the last 9 months to see where they're at, where they've hit their goals. Are you on track to hit your relationship goals? Are you on track to hit your fitness goals? Are you on track to hit your financial goals? Do you even have goals in those important areas of your life? Either way, it's all good. That's why you're here today. Remember, winners sometimes need to hit a reset button if you're not hitting all those goals right now.
Yeah. Speaking of winning, our son is texting us like, how's your night going? Like, fucking winning. I love this. I love what we've been able to create by hitting the reset button. But I want to walk through a couple of examples of what that assessment looks like. And you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. You can do this on a monthly basis. You can do this on a quarterly basis. I know we always talk about seasons. Matt and I kind of do this on a seasonal, but fourth quarter is where we really try to hit it home, right? I had another client that has crushed it. And when we get to that point, it is an unspoken stair step up where they pull out the red bikini. Nobody talks about it, but the progress photos start coming through about that red bikini. And I know that switch has flipped in their head. And for those of you that don't quite understand, ladies, if you can picture that moment that you've been working, you've been dialed in, you've been diligent, just chipping away at this goal. And one day you look up and you think, I want to try that bikini on and see if it fits. And so you pull it out and you think, oh my God, it works. And then you send it into your coach. Like the minute I get that red bikini photo, I'm like, fuck yes. Like, yes. Now we're talking. Now you're stepping into that new identity. Now we can start really talking about, okay, I've been able to change your mind about who you are internally. Now what do you really want? What are those big ass goals? And so we did a Zoom call. This specific client and we did a Zoom call, and I said, okay, what's next? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, you hit your red bikini moment. She's there. Like, you've already evolved into her. So what's next? What's the bigger goal now? And it's just like business. Like quarters 1, quarters 2, quarters 3 are good. We're hitting our goals. Are we on track for the fourth quarter? Like, we're cruising. Do we want to readjust? Okay. Like, how can we finish the year strong? But more importantly, what we do in the fourth quarter is like, how can we set ourselves up so that we can set ourselves up going into the best year we've ever had this coming year? So for her, it was, yeah, we're tracking. We hit a goal early. We've got 3 months left this year. What else do you want to do? And so we kind of started reassessing what she really wanted.
So this is a reassessment moment, not a reset moment.
Yeah. This is a, maybe I do want a 6-pack. I didn't think I could get this 30 pounds off. I've always really wanted like arms, like guns. And so then I'm able to reassess and shift. Let's do a maintenance mode for 2 months. Let's do a little baby build, during these months for the holidays, so we can really develop the definition in your arms. We can really just keep some muscle on your legs. And then when we go into a cut after the first of the year, it's just going to make it that much easier. Like that grind she just went to for that original cut, it's because she didn't have any existing muscle. Now we've got the muscle. What if we build on it? What if I add 10 more pounds of muscle? It's going to make that cut so much easier. And then when she's done, it's like, oh, holy shit. I didn't even know she was in there, because you never allowed yourself to have that first step. But being able to reassess before the goal date, we were able to get a new vision and set her up to where spring break, holy shit, look out. She's going to be, dare I say, bombshell.
I love that. I love that example. That is a perfect example of someone or a business, someone that's reassessing where they're at in the fourth quarter before they hit the fourth quarter. They're slowing down. They're taking time to see where they're at. That's a great example. And do you make adjustments? Sometimes you do. Even if you're winning, you say, man, I'm hitting this goal quicker than I thought it would. Sometimes you make adjustments. You start saying, are these goals still correct? That's a great example.
That's the beautiful thing about goals. Nothing's linear.
Yep.
Like there's no straight line, and that's okay as long as you're not going backwards.
But even if you're winning like that, it's important fourth quarter, sit down, reassess your goals and say, hey, am I really going for what I really want?
Yeah.
And that's what you did with her.
But now with that segue, gorgeous segue, by the way, I want to talk about a reset. Am I really going where I want to go? Is it adjustment or is it a completely new path? So I had a client reach out to me that had some seriously awesome results in the beginning and just like crushed it and dropped a good amount of weight and was kind of like noticing everything else in her world changing for the better. But she hadn't gotten all the way down to her real goal. And she was on her way, right? Like she was on that downhill slide. There was momentum going into it, but she kind of took her eye off the ball over the summer. She kind of she's like, I didn't want to have to follow a plan over the summer. I kind of did this. I kind of kept on my steps. I made sure I got my protein, but I didn't really stick to plan. And she unfortunately hadn't gotten to the point where she could go into a maintenance mode. She hadn't gotten to the point where it was an identity shift. Some might even call it a fuck it moment. Does that sound familiar? Now, luckily, she'd only put back on a little bit of the weight, probably like 10, it's more like 8 pounds. It was like 8 pounds, but let's say 10 just to round up because math is easier. But she noticed the consistency of tracking and working towards a goal. And knowing that goal kept her life in check. Like she still could stay somewhat in the guardrails and stayed on point. And again, like a business, things heat up. Hiring employees, training them, working on different projects. And you get to the third quarter and you realize you aren't on target or anywhere near where you want to be. And so this was actually a bit of a reset moment for this client, just like it is for a business. We spent time truly talking about what goals she has. Because if the original goal was that important, fuck, it would have never occurred. So what's the real goal? What's the goal that's so deep in your soul that you can't not hit it. So we talked about real goals. What could potentially get in the way? What adjustments do we need to make to this plan to hit that goal? And then we took action. And she's back on track.
You know, in both these examples, it's an example of winners because there's something there in common. It doesn't matter if you're on track, the first example you used, or you're off track like the second example you used. It really doesn't matter. But damn, you got to get in the game of life. I mean, you have to get in the game of life. And that's exactly what these two clients, were they both ladies?
Yes.
That's exactly what both these ladies did. They said, I got to get in the game of life. I've got to do more. And anyone listening, you've got to consider yourself a winner because you're consuming content like this. You want to move the needle. But to get in the game of life, you got to slow down. And there's four points that we want to leave you with on what you need to do in the fourth quarter to set yourself up. Because this is just like a business. You're a business, so treat it like one. And that is the number one. We're telling you to slow down. Number one is slow down, take a step back, and evaluate. It's exactly what both of these clients did. The first one said, hey, I'm doing really good, but let's slow down and evaluate where we're at. The second one said, hey, I've fallen off track over the summer. Let's step back and evaluate where I'm at.
Can I interrupt? I'm so sorry to interrupt. Yeah. Evaluate without emotion. Yeah. It's so important to keep emotion out of it.
Yep. Because
that's where sharp turns happen, where you may not need a sharp turn.
And maybe that's a perfect metaphor for treating it like a business. Mm-hmm. You got to take the emotion out of it.
Yes.
It is what it is. This is where I'm at. It's a reset or it's a reassessment.
Yep.
That's great.
I love that.
But slow down. You got to slow down and get in the game of life. Number two, you have to look at what is important to you. So important to know what is important to you because that will help you decide what your next step is. Number three is you got to figure out how to get there. If you're rolling into the fourth quarter, you're not where you want to be in business, relationships, fitness, whatever it is. You got to slow down, evaluate, figure out what's important to you, and then figure out how to get there. What do you need to do over the next 3 months to get there? And number four, this is the big one. You've heard us dig into this in the past for so many episodes. You have to decide what it looks like when you get there. I mean, down to the tiniest pixel, exactly like it feels. Think of a movie or a picture. You have to have that in your head so you cannot stop thinking about it. Those are the four things that you have to do as you approach the fourth quarter to set yourself up.
I love it. You know I love steps and tactics. But I think the most important, truthfully, is you have to look into the future. And you have to be able to see that person that you are designing, that you crave. Let's say you crave it. I crave that future design of myself. She's fucking bomb. She's awesome. And you have to start working on it today. It's a perfect time, guys. Farmers don't start tomorrow. They start today. I hope you found fire in this episode, guys. If it works, share it with someone you love. Tag us in your Insta stories. Drop us a DM. You know we love talking to you guys. And if anything, we'll talk to you next time.